Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone, to Inside the Broken Family. And this is this week's podcast. And what we do here, for any of you that are new to this podcast, is that we share reflections and poems and short stories that we have written. And we share them with you. And then we talk about it. So that's what we do.
Jeff,
yes.
You're going to want to do that again.
Okay.
He is right, but just Augie hitting that is gonna stop any of your sound.
Yeah, you're going to want to.
I'll put on.
Put it on the other
No,
side.
right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we start over?
I was like, God,
All right.
let's
All
do
right.
it again.
Welcome to Mount Rushmore. I mean,
Stop it. Stop. Give it a minute before you start talking.
I can tell. I can tell that Matt is new to our podcast.
Yeah, he's never listened.
Okay.
He would have
I've been exposed.
Oh yeah, I'm putting that in the podcast.
Yes.
Start of the podcast.
So welcome to Inside the Broken Family.
You gotta have a clean intro, Jeff.
That's not what we do here.
You
man.
gotta have a clean
You
intro.
haven't been in our
Okay,
podcast.
sorry.
You only get one cut per podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's some of the starts.
So, and we apologize, everyone, but not really.
Don't act like you're still going.
No, we are.
We are going. See, Matt, you'll catch on.
This podcast is nothing to make it
All right.
We're excited to be here together with you, and we are excited that we have family guests joining us, Matt and Alicia, and their families here, and we're excited to have you.
Who
So,
are they?
Alicia is my oldest daughter, and Matt is her husband. Our Poppy and I don't like to say. We just like to say
Well, my in-laws
Part of
call
our
us
family.
outlaws, so I don't like doing that.
right.
So you don't
we'll
call
just-
your in-laws outlaws?
No.
Never?
Never have I called them an outlaw. Matt, I've never called you an outlaw.
It's a very
That's so bad.
So we're going to get started. Do we have any comments on last week's episode? Any thoughts?
I really enjoyed the discussions that we had, even though it wasn't as Christmassy as Mom would have liked.
Oh,
She came out kind of an Eeyore.
I was kind of irritated about the whole thing.
We know. It was very apparent on the podcast.
Oh, I haven't listened.
That's not new.
That's not new. That's true.
Oh, let's pick on Mother today.
You picked on yourself.
I really liked Jeffrey's 3 trees, parentheses, mushrooms. I really enjoyed listening to that again and thinking about this idea of these powerful ideas found in the Bible encompassed in a person. It's cool.
Apparently, I was a little spicy according to Jeff's words. That was an unaware spicy. So
Bit spicy.
apparently,
Yeah, I also enjoyed, Jeffrey, I enjoyed your descriptions of that journey that man was going through, Jesus, and I enjoyed the descriptions that you wrote into there. They were very, very good.
I had fun writing that one.
Yeah, that was good. So, this week's theme is the new year, and we are at the edge of this year, and tonight it will change. So, with that being said, I had a few thoughts going into this new year. A couple of things that have happened this last week with me. And I think it's maybe an attempt from me to be more present. And you'll kind of find this, I think, funny when I explain what happened. But two things happened recently. And one of them, we were down visiting our daughter down in the hospital in Salt Lake over the last couple of days. And Poppy, my wife, forgot to bring her medicine. And so
we were going to stay, and then
I
we
know.
decided we were staying.
I know.
I needed medicine.
So we were scrambling with the Sunday night. The pharmacies were closing, and we only had a few minutes. And we finally got some help from a doctor to okay the medicine to come to a pharmacy in Salt Lake. And so I hurried out to avoid the closing of this pharmacy. And after I had got the medicine, which was just a few minutes before it closed, I went out to the car and kind of took a deep breath. And I was very calm because mission accomplished. Poppy had what she needed. And so I backed the van up and slowly, and I had looked like I always do, and I backed the van up and turned out of the parking space and crash, bump. I hit something. And there was nothing there when I had looked before. Little did I know, at the same time, 3 stalls over, a young lady had backed up slowly and turned the opposite direction. And we collided, our bumpers collided, not heavily, but softly. And we both parked back into the stalls, and I got out, and she got out, and we rocked around the car that was between us. And I smiled, and the first thing out of her mouth was, "I'm so sorry." And I said, "I think we both were not looking." And I could tell that she kind of sighed and had a relief in her body of that it was going to be okay. I think she was worried, this young lady, that there was going to have to be a report and damages and her insurance and money and everything else, I think, was going through her head. And I just reassured her, it looks like everything's okay. The panel of her car had popped out when my bumper hit it. And I went over and she said, "Be careful." And she was worried about me. And I took my knee and I pushed the panel back in and it snapped back in. And I looked over at the van, at our van, where Pierce had run into a garbage dump, and it was, dented. And I said, and I thought it was Sam. I said, "My teenage son already damaged the van right where we hit." And she kind of smiled, and again I said, "We're okay." And she said, "Yeah, we're okay." And she was happy about it. And we left. But that was just a little moment in my week of being present in an odd way. And so that was one thing. And then this morning, I woke up at 6, like I always do, and got ready to go work out. And I could hear out of my bathroom window an owl hooting. And I had heard this owl for probably in and off over the last month. And I really, really wanted to, I hadn't been able to find this owl. But this morning, as I looked out the window from the bathroom, I could see this great horned owl perched on one of the upper branches of our 100-foot elm tree. And I was so grateful for that moment. I got my bird book out, looked it up, marked it that I had identified this bird in my yard, and I was really, really happy. So that was my second moment of being present. So going into this podcast, I thought I would share with you this little 2025 will be a year 9. And I thought, what does that mean? Will be a year 9. And this is from Healing Energy Tools. So I'd like to just give them thanks for sharing this. 2025 will be a year 9. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. In numerology, the number 9 symbolizes completion, wisdom, and spiritual growth. It represents the end of a cycle. Making space for new beginnings, this year encourages reflection, letting go of what no longer serves you, and embracing closure with gratitude. As a year of transformation and humanitarianism, 2025 invites you to focus on compassion, selflessness, and contributing to the greater good. Embrace the lessons learned, release the past, and step into the future with an open heart. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I am grateful for the opportunity to be alive and to be able to go into this coming year. So I think we're going to start from youngest to oldest, and we may shuffle that depending on time. But Jeffrey, would you start us off?
All right. I have a poem that I read on the podcast already, but I've fixed it or added to it. And the title is kind of inspired by my music listening this year. I listened to mostly Imminence, which is a heavy metal band. And their album that came out this year is called The Black, and my title is called Purple Lessons in the Dark. Roses are red, violets are blue. Have you ever thought what putting both colors together might do? The ancient indigo, a graceful dance of light. Why do we say we have this color in our fragile sight? There is red, there is blue, there is also even yellow too. But in our eye, through a lens, these two godlike spirits make amends, introducing something new. A powerful color grew, a purple hue, an invisible glow, something only our inside can show. No power left, but simple glow. Take heed to the song of wasted breath, bending the rays of light with our glass, absolving the electric heartbeat with our word catchers, submitting to the forces of the matter gods, ignoring to the meditations of our licking crowds. And still we bask in Clorox as we ask in ignorance, why fear the 5 gods that breathe the color purple? This purple that you see is you, it's me. It's where we are, where I am. I am inside and out. I am brought to be. I am brought to see. Son of the living, Father of the dead, Mother of thanksgiving, the soul that sees the color in your head.
So, the color purple is a color that doesn't actually exist. Like, the human eye can't actually observe it, right?
Yeah.
It lays outside the spectrum of colors we can observe.
Yeah, our human eyes cannot physically see the color purple. We only have three light.
Receptors.
The primary colors we can see.
Wait, what?
We don't have receptors for the color purple.
Why?
What are you talking? I see purple all the time. Yeah.
But it's not actually purple.
How do you
What?
know?
Yeah.
It's just red and blue.
So it's like
Okay.
So those colors
I understand your
together
question now. Sorry.
like indigo, like red and blue, like indigo,
Mhm.
like kind of the in between. What about
Kind of
like,
in between. Yeah.
so the primary colors, when they're mixed with each other, produce the secondary colors. And so, what does our eye pick up with the secondary colors?
I think we do see green. Green's a color we see, and that's yellow and blue. And then we see orange. That's
Right.
yellow and red.
Right.
But then purple, ultraviolet light, like that light on that light spectrum on the light, not the color.
Got it.
It's the light.
When you shine light through a prism, and it fractures, is that where those colors can come up, can appear
I think.
in fractured light?
Yeah. So if you shone a light through a prism, you'd see, I think, red, yellow, and blue, or it might be red, green, and blue. Yeah. And then, but there's also purple, or ultraviolet, but we can't see that.
So why does this poem stick out to you, like, individually?
I've kind of, the more that I've grown this year, it's kind of been a cool thing just in my personal experience. The more that I've grown into a way of being, of just like trying to experience life and just trying to observe. I've just been able to see the indigo, that color purple, that we can't see. It just appears more, like I just see it in other colors. Where if I'm looking at the sunset or if I'm looking at the ocean, I see purple, but thinking that purple doesn't even exist has made me kind of think that and make that into a little comforting thought of what is purple. It's something that just is, but we can't prove that it exists. It's kind of cool.
You had a line in there about the licking crowd, and you had a line just before that. I can't remember, but what did you mean by the licking crowd?
Taste buds. Taste the scent. I kind of went through 5 senses, and my idea with that was the 5 senses, the complete senses, make up the color purple. Was what the poem was. So your sight, sound, taste, touch.
So were you kind of expressing that this year of this journey, you become more aware of all with your senses of everything that you've experienced? Maybe there's more awareness in that.
Yeah.
And then what was the part about Clorox bleaching out something
It was bathed in Clorox.
bathed in Clorox?
I had kind of a double meaning with that. One of the meanings was I just kind of was begging the question of why do you want to erase the past? Like why clean? What's that? Just adds more flavor and more receptors and everything if you keep everything here. Because it all is you. So why bleach that out? Keep it.
I like that, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Because we're all unique. And that sometimes we try to erase parts of us that maybe we think people don't like, but maybe that makes us us.
One of the traditions my family had on, is today New Year's Eve?
It is.
Okay, so we would always go to the supermarket and buy something we've never eaten before. So if you've never eaten anything purple, I think that you should go to the supermarket today and grab like a purple broccoli. Maybe.
Purple broccoli?
Yeah.
That exists?
Yeah, purple tomato.
I think you should start the year eating something purple.
That's a good idea. Should make a purple dish for New Year's Eve.
All purple.
I think that's a pretty amazing idea.
All right.
What are you gonna try?
I'm not the color purple.
I
I don't know. We were
was
kind
gonna
of
say,
talking
let's go
about
to the
it.
store.
Yeah, my dad was like, "Should we go to the health food section?" I was like, "Why? Let's ruin the year."
All right. Well, the poem I'm reading today is a sequel to one I've already written. If you're a longtime listener, you have heard this. The first of these poems. The first one was called My Love Letter to Life. This one is called My Second Love Letter to Life. So here we go. Every morning, my eyes opened. I always had a ceiling to look at. Whether that ceiling happened to be 6 feet above me, or that ceiling was full of clouds an unimaginable distance from me, it didn't matter. My eyes, they looked up, creating shapes that had no edges, creating colors not yet seen, creating worlds at a rate so fast that if I could have understood, all of the doubt would have left long ago. Every morning I woke and looked up, then I closed my eyes. Routines in the morning, constant cycles, convincing myself that conventional chemistry was the path forward, that math, English, philosophy, physics, science was the thing I had to imitate, that the creations of others was intelligence, that was the only meaning I didn't feel guilty grabbing onto. A man discounting his own abilities of creation is a man not worthy of the mind he was given. When I closed my eyes, the worlds I could see contorted, turning into the worlds others could see. The worlds deemed executable. Structures given in innocence, worlds that limited all the same. When I was young, I understood deeply that houses were built out of fear of the dark, that fires keep faces lit as the sun keeps them lit. That I need words to structure the unknown. I forgot that I can create as well, not just the Einsteins or the Jesuses, not just the Petersons or the Bukowskis, not just the kings, politicians, or popes, not just my father or my brothers. At one point, all of them laid in a bed staring at the ceiling, doubting the worlds they could see. Well, what if they had listened to the creations that begged to be imitated? Every morning I closed my eyes and I listened. Well, I'm done. No more imitating. No more doubting. I will bring into creation the worlds I can see. I will not close my eyes and beg to forget. I will allow my heart to die beating as it is supposed to. Open your eyes and please accept your own genius. Don't allow your genius to control you. Open your eyes and please deny the beggars at every corner. Don't allow their cries of being forgotten to stop you. You alone can create. Empirically, life has allowed you to do so. You had a line in there about someone that denies their own creative ability is not worthy of their mind. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. Those 2 lines.
A man discounting his own abilities of creation is a man not worthy of the mind he was given. It's when you read that, I had this flash of like someone being beheaded. It's a harsh way of saying what you were saying, but it brought the point up clearly in my mind. It flashed as a man being beheaded. Yeah, it makes sense.
I really liked hearing you write that way, in that there was possibilities, that you have some dreams, that you, to me, that sounded different than some of your writings that you've done before, and I really like that no matter what anyone has done, that you have the ability to do what you want ahead of you, if you choose it. That's what I got from that.
You know, I don't exactly agree
Okay.
with the. I did like a lot of your poem, especially. I mean, we've all been there, laying and thinking. Anyhow, I think sometimes there's a lot of creativity in choosing certain things to delete,
Yeah.
like to remove. Like, I'm an editor, right? I make and produce things all the time.
Yeah.
If I were to keep every single thing in there that I've ever thought or filmed, it would be crap.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm.
Isn't that just part of the creative process?
Yeah, but there's also creative in filming the whole thing.
I guess.
So it's like different art, different
style.
different approaches.
What
I'm
made you-
reading into this a little.
What made you feel in my poem? What made you feel that I was expressing that
Oh,
idea?
I have no idea.
Interesting.
Maybe it was just in the conversation you and your brother were having. Like sometimes it's okay to create something and put it away for a long time
I totally agree.
and pull it back out.
Yeah, I totally
Seriously.
agree. Yeah, and that's
And redo it.
yeah. I did talk about feeling guilty for creating.
Oh shit.
So, but no. That's I think why you might have thought that. Maybe it was just the way I phrased it, but I wasn't meaning like I should put everything I think out. I wasn't meaning that.
It's all good.
I keep having this image of myself staring at the ceiling, which I have done many, many times over the decades of my life. And as I think back on those times, and when you brought that up with your, staring at the ceiling, and I don't know if you were talking about minimizing your creative mind or expanding your creative mind when you were staring at the ceiling. But for me, those moments of staring, and I can picture every house and every room that I was in with Mom, and when I was a teenager, staring at the ceiling and thinking.
Yeah.
And those were, for me in my decades, creative moments. They weren't just blank moments of no thought.
Yeah, I agree.
They were creative
I agree.
in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. And it was only, the way I wrote it was just, as I closed my eyes and thought about what others could see, that's minimizing your creative potential. Because there's something you're doing where you're discounting, you're looking at the ceiling or you're looking at the clouds or wherever you wake up and look up. When you close your eyes and think about only the creations of others, you're forgetting that you're doing that. At least that's how I think about it, not how I've thought about it.
I like the idea that you're gifted with a brain, you're gifted with the gift of thinking, you have the ability to think about thinking. So use it, why not? Or the lines you read again that you pointed out.
It made me think of a quote, and this maybe is not exactly what you're saying, but it's attributed to Beethoven. He said, "Don't only practice your art, but force your way into its secrets. For it and knowledge can raise men to the divine." Yeah, I think I was touching on that idea.
Don't you think in life, at least for me, right? If I've had maybe an ability to do something, looking back, I think I stopped myself from reaching certain goals or certain abilities because of me.
Yeah.
I didn't move forward.
Well, I would say that's even been alive pretty consistently in the podcast, where your voice has spoken. Well, it's not like hers or his. It's not. I can't rhyme like him or her. I can't.
Right.
And that spirit is still somewhat present.
Maybe it's changed.
But that spirit is the creations of others begging not to be forgotten. That's what that spirit is.
Well, no, I think that in life we compare ourselves to many people, right? And so I listen to other people's writings and I think, at the beginning for sure. And for a long time as we've been doing this, like Jeff said, I don't do it in the same way, right? And that's okay. Hello?
I didn't say that. I said you consistently say
That's true.
that you don't do it in the same way. I
I
didn't say you don't do it in the same way.
Well, no, I was saying that myself. That in my head.
I just want to be clear.
Okay.
When you come to a point, when any of us come to a point that it's okay, that you recognize your own uniqueness, and then it doesn't have to be compared to anyone else. I think that's a beautiful moment for anyone.
Yeah.
To just be okay with what you do.
I think that's part of the learning process. And I think this year for me, and maybe some other people of doing this podcast.
It doesn't matter. Just speak for you.
Can I argue that it's not part of the learning process? Well, it is, but it's the start of the learning process.
Right. But I'm saying for me being 60, right? Turning 60, I think that I've learned a lot of things this past year. More than I have in a long time. And I think that...
Why is that? Sorry, I just cut you off.
No, go. No,
Why-
this is part of that.
Why do you feel like this year has been the year that you're like have experienced that?
I had to make some definite changes in my life because I spent 3.5 years going nowhere.
Yeah, but so he's asking a
I
different
know.
question.
Oh, wait.
Why specifically this year? Why not
Right.
the last year or the year
Well,
before that?
I'm getting to that.
Sorry.
3.5 years literally living in pain. Living in my pain and getting to the point where it won. Literally. And I had to step forward. I had to make choices this year to walk through that pain, to get to the other side. Did all the pain go away? No. Have I completed some of the goals? Absolutely, I have. This writing has been, or being a part of this where we just discuss and we write something we're thinking, has actually been incredibly growing.
I think it's really interesting that you talk about the answer to Matt's question. You initially go to physical pain, where from an outsider's perspective, I know that's real for you, but from an outsider's perspective, the growth seems to have happened when you have... I grew up with a mom who would, if she was uncomfortable or felt slighted, you'd go spend days in your room.
Run to my room.
Yeah, you would. You would go spend literal days in your room.
Not
But
days,
this
but
year,
yeah.
no, you would. This year, you have sat through emotional and mental pain.
Yeah.
You've sat here and you haven't left and you haven't isolated yourself.
No.
You've sat through pain.
Yeah, it's almost like instead of you
The
talked
pain,
about stepping
physical
through
pain
it,
and the-
it's almost like you turned around and faced it.
Right.
For the first time, you faced it. You looked at it.
I really liked your poem. I thought it was really, the words you used were very insightful and just like made me think a lot. And one question I had when I was thinking about it, going back to what you were saying with the voices of others and how that can, I don't know how you said it, but I just really like that. And how do we, because we are our own individual human, identities on this earth, how do we overcome those voices that are crowding us?
Yeah,
Well,
we're
That's what I'm
right.
wondering, because that's what
And those
I
voices,
deal with.
they beg. They
Right.
beg to be remembered. And that's what people do. Like, think about when somebody tries to create a legacy.
Yeah.
They're only trying to be remembered for their ideas. And those ideas stifle you
Yeah.
from actually coming into your own potential.
Right.
We try to imitate those ideas because we think that's intelligence. Those people
didn't imitate anybody.
No.
And if you don't imitate anybody, you'll create something great.
I beg to differ.
But how do we not imitate? Like, that's what I'm wondering.
No, well, I think it's. Peyton, you can correct me if I'm off. Peyton's a big picture thinker, and so essentially what he's doing is skipping to the end. And there are, like a child, like my 1-year-old. He doesn't only imitate, but one of the ways children learn is through play and imitation. And so it's like that Beethoven quote, you have to dive into an art and you have to learn everything about it. And once you do that, and part of that includes imitation, once you really do that, you start to grow into yourself. And I think that's what Peyton's saying.
And I would add, it doesn't have to be an art. The art can be thinking. The art can be thought.
That's a broad word, yeah.
And everybody can do that. If you think you can't think, then you're wrong. You're wrong about it.
I really like what you said. That it's the fact that you can gain this imitation for some time, but then you have to create your own.
Yeah, and I think to your point, as we grow as humans, we have to start reflecting critically about what we're doing and what we're imitating to be able to really start to see our own outline. Without that critical reflection of, is this really me? Is this really a part of me? Or is this a piece that I'm taking and trying to fit into me? Without that critical reflection, we'll never really define our outline.
Yeah, because like you said, when you're a kid, you imitate.
Right.
And I don't think most adults, I don't think they realize that they never stopped doing that.
I think that's a good way of saying that.
They never stopped imitating something. And until you look at what you were imitating, until you figure out where you're at,
Right.
then you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it isn't that a great thinker doesn't imitate. That person does. It's just they separate themselves from that imitation and create their own.
Yes, and that's why I think everybody could be an amazing thinker.
Right.
A great thinker could be considered that.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. If they could just drop the imitation.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of saying that.
Right.
I think so. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I have to do that every single hour of every single day on every single project.
This year.
You want to go to film school? Guess what? You'll just sit there watching films.
Yeah.
And you'll do the same thing where you'll get in a group and you'll talk about it. You want to go to art school? You'll look at other people's art and you'll try to paint a square on a table with a flower, right? It's how you get to know the basic skill set in order to really what you're talking about, to find that creative vein you want to hit.
To finally step off the path that's been paved and
even though
step
I've
down.
been creating for almost a decade now, every single project I go into, it's still that curve that you were talking about. Every single project, I'm hitting that. Where am I imitating or am I Matt Warren? Am I imitating or am I another company?
Yeah.
Am I doing this for me or am I doing this for other people? I made thousands of films for other people. I've made a few for me.
I've seen some of the ones that you've done for you.
This year's been a big year for you.
Yeah.
Of stepping out of a little bit more of your imitation and starting to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and that's really been neat.
And I hate it, but it also brings me a lot of joy because and what I mean by I hate it is it takes a lot longer of a process to get to what you believe is creative by you than you think it might.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's taking you a year, right? To feel comfortable for writing.
59 years.
Yeah.
59 years.
No, I it's true. Right, it's okay. This is
I like
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm not really just showing physical affection.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Sorry that you thought I wasn't okay.
See, this is what we're talking about. You living in someone else's head.
Yeah, well, I'm learning to get out of
This
my
is
head
me just
and someone
showing
else's.
you-
No, you need to get into your head.
This is love.
Okay.
Love. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
No, don't do it. I'm not used to being loved on the podcast.
What do you mean? You're our most loved member here.
Love can show its way in many forms.
It can. Okay. Now I totally
This is
thought.
the first daughter that's come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
are
Alicia.
the
She shows
first
affection
daughter.
differently.
Yeah, I love it.
We
Thank
show
you.
affection as saying, knock it off and do better.
Boys and girls are very
Yeah,
different.
they are. That's fun. I didn't think about that.
This is how you do it.
No, I was doing it nice.
It was very cute. She could rub my back anytime. Okay, so what this made me think of is we're missing something in our world today. So back when, even before my dad's time, and up into the 70s, because there was a gentleman I talked to when I worked for a lady in Providence. He had told me he was a photographer. And he told me that when he went to LA, if I have the story correct, he went to LA and he wanted to be a photographer. And he just started doing it, started meeting people, started being creative in what he did and what he thought. He was taking pictures of his girlfriend and different things. And eventually he was working with people like Dean Martin and all the stars that you can think of at the time. Now I can't think of all the ones he showed me pictures of or talked about, but it was really cool because he didn't have to go to college to get this degree. He just got his foot in the door, started thinking what he wanted to do and became it. We're missing that in our world today because a lot, not for everyone, but a lot of people think they have to get that degree to become something. We're losing our creativity, I think.
Well, maybe the boomers should have let off the whole go to college.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been a good idea.
And it's funny because aren't we boomers?
Yes.
But we're the end of the boomers.
I think that's the,
You're the original boomer.
I think that's the most boomer question you could have asked.
But we weren't pushing college. We never did push college, so.
There's other ways to learn, but
Yeah.
college.
Beautiful poem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's
college
next?
is good. Don't get me
Alicia's
wrong, people
next.
that go to college.
Oh,
I think Alicia's next, right?
Alicia.
I'm
no,
youngest.
he's
You're
younger.
Matt's Okay.
Am I up?
I actually don't have.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Then you just
That's
say
fine.
that.
Then you just say that.
Your turn.
Oh
honey.
boy.
Go get it.
Hey, thanks.
That's on camera.
Slap of the bum.
You went right in there. I don't sit in front of camera. This is annoying. So, I'm gonna tell a story rather than write a story. I'm an outlaw / in-law.
You are not an outlaw in my family.
I'm married into this beautiful, wonderful family, chaotic family. And I'm gonna tell maybe one or two stories. So, it's Christmas time. We're going into the new year. I'm going to tell a story about my second Christmas experience with the Allens. And you're going to get a lot of insight from an outsider coming into this.
Could you have at least worn a cowboy hat and like a 6-shooter?
Yeah.
Oh,
That would have
that's
been great.
the outfit's coming. So for Christmas, it's a big thing for this family. It's a wonderful, emotional time. There's a lot of gift giving. There's a lot of love expressed. But there's a little bit of torture. Guantanamo Bay didn't have as bad as torture. So I knew what to expect the second year. I had a plan. And that plan was sleeping pills, and I'll tell you why. Jeff and Poppy want all of their kids in the same room Christmas Eve, and that includes the new us.
The newly married.
The new ones who are not initiated. It's a cult. It's a cult experience.
That's no joke.
Yeah. You come in, they say, I love your daughter, and you say, well, there's some things now we have to tell you about. You're sleeping with us on Christmas Eve. Excuse me, what? So, they're a large family. They're in this beautiful, wonderful home in Hyde Park, and we slam everybody into their bedroom, and we're not all in the bed.
And
we're
it's not a huge room.
It's not a big room. Alicia knows that I have some anxiety, so she prepares a really nice, beautiful spot. She puts the foam pads down right by the window. You know, it's a little beveled area. There's some space there. I haven't told you guys this story. So the hour of the wolf comes. Parents say it's time for bed, and I go immediately to the kitchen, and I have 2 liquid gel pills, sleep like PM pills. I can't swallow pills. I'm in the kitchen choking. I can't do it. So I'm in there with a knife, and if you know the Allens, they don't have sharp knives. All of them are dull. I don't know. Knife sharpening.
It's a safety.
You're right. Yeah. They're cutting bread with their fingers. So I'm using a somewhat serrated knife on this liquid gel pen, and Jeff and Poppy walk in. It's okay. The kids, we brought kids. You can hear in the background.
I knew you'd think about that.
I've been thinking about that.
I know.
So, serrating this pill. Jeff and Poppy come in. They go, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm trying to take sleeping pills before I get in there because I want to go sleep." So I guzzle whatever medicine I can take out of there, which was not enough.
You squeeze it.
Yeah, I squeezed it. Jeff and Poppy were laughing at me because they're like, "I have a son-in-law who can't swallow pills."
We had no compassion.
Yeah.
As a
What are you, a little baby bird? So, I get in my Christmas pajamas, which are oh so flattering. And I lay on this foam pad, and I'm just praying, like, I just need to go to bed. And all the family comes in, and we're just surrounded. There's Sam over here. There's
Sam's in the bathroom.
I'm just going to try to get the people right. This is based off memory, so, like.
You were surrounded.
We were.
We were surrounded. Jeff Pierce and Jeremy were in there. Payne was in there. And this was before a lot of us had gotten married. I think it was just Jeff.
Yeah,
And
we
their
had
family.
gotten out of that by having children.
Yeah.
Yes,
Believe
you
me,
were in
we
there
were
that
trying.
day.
Really, the only
They
reason
were
we had.
across the
would-
room.
You were still in there.
No, they got room across from us.
Yeah.
We didn't have Jeffrey yet. I
Yeah.
mean, Jeffrey.
They
Sam,
had
yeah.
Yes, we
Miley.
did.
They had
We
Miley.
did?
Leading up to Christmas, we were hoping for a surprise. But,
Fast gestational phase.
yeah.
We were hoping for some.
So the room is just covered with people.
I wish we'd taken
It
Ooh, that
would have made a border control people
We can
like
show them.
really happy about the situation. And Jeff and Poppy are out of the room because they're doing last minute Christmas stuff. And it's dark, and everybody is slowly falling asleep, and I am still not falling asleep. And I know it's coming. So I'm trying to fall asleep, and my heart is just because I already experienced one Christmas, and I knew what was coming. And I was just like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. And Alicia could feel me. Like, Alicia has this innate sense of knowing when Matt's awake. And she's, we're now 13 years in. And she now rolls over and ignores me. But we're year, 2? Year 3?
It was 2.
So she comforts and she's like, hey, it's fine. You're going to do it. It's fine. Merry Christmas. I love you. And she falls asleep. And it is now like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Jeff and Poppy, after getting everything arranged for, all you do as a parent for Santa Claus and for Christmas. And they have, their love language is gift giving. And so they have just piles and piles and piles of things. And they are exhausted. And they walk into the room and their heads hit the pillows. And I'm talking immediately. A millisecond of time passed. And Jeff is... And Poppy is... And it is like a cartoon. like those Looney Tunes of just like a train and and it just goes on and on and on without a moment's breath of peace. And I had peace, but my heart and my brain were too active. So this goes on for a while, an hour. And then Peyton suddenly jumps up. And I don't know how, but he hurdles over people. He just walks over people, and we're everywhere. And he is standing at the edge of my mat. And it's just me and Peyton looking at each other.
Peyton
And-
was walking.
Yeah, he was
in
walking.
his sleep.
And Alicia was laying to me, next to me, and she's been awake for a little bit. Because, I mean, the snoring was awesome. And I think you said, Peyton, go to bed. Because I wasn't talking. I was scared out of my mind. I don't have brothers. And then Peyton just falls backwards onto the bed, onto Jeff and Poppy's legs. Sorry, specifically Poppy's legs. Waking up Poppy, in which her only word that she could come to and say what over and over and over again was, Peyton, 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 Peyton.
Exactly.
So somehow I think that this has happened before. Because it was immediate. She woke up, she knew what kid it was. Yeah, Peyton, 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 Peyton. And he's just laying there. He's a log of a person. And then I think you like kick him or something. You move him and he kind of stumbles and wakes up and he's like, and he goes back to his bed and lays down. What I haven't mentioned in the story is the Allens also love their animals. And inside this room were, I think, 3 to 4 dogs.
There was one of ours and
Yeah.
2 of Pierce and Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 to 4.
And,
oh no, 2 of them.
And one of them, and I got to preface this too, I'm sorry. I love your animals, but I don't love animals.
Listen, Grandma Stamps saw right through you.
I know.
We had many.
That's another story.
That's another Christmas.
We need to share that.
Oh, okay, maybe. So Grizz wakes up. He's an Australian Shepherd,
Yeah.
big hairy thing, brown and tan dog, and he sees that my eyes are open. So he crawls off the bed and puts his face and lays on me just right here. Just dog breath and tongue, wet tongue, just breathing. And I'm like emotionally losing it at this point. It's 3:00 in the morning, and I've got another 12 hours of Christmas. Because, yeah, and then you make fun of me because I cry when I open presents. It's not because I'm an emotional person. It's because I don't do this. And everything is different.
He had a long night.
So I'm praying to every god I could think of. I've got Jesus. I've got the Hindu gods. I'm even praying to Santa Claus to show up.
Just to knock you out.
Just boom. Just put me to sleep. So that is Christmas.
Wait, didn't Sophie?
So that was year 1.
Oh.
Yeah, Sophie
That's another
Saunders.
story.
I will like to say, isn't this Matt's story?
Well, I thought Sophie
No.
smacked him.
No, that was year 1. That's why I knew to bring sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Sophie did punch me.
It's another story for
But that was year 1. Same situation. So the Christmas at the Allens is a full. You're talking light spectrum. Like it is the full spectrum of human emotional experience because you're gifted with gratitude, you're gifted with love, you're gifted with joy, you're gifted with curiosity, you're gifted with wow, that's interesting, and you're gifted with
Insanity.
just a little bit of chaos because you can't have as many kids as you've got with strong opinions that they have without a little bit of chaos
True.
and a little bit of angst and a lot of love. And so we haven't done that. That was, I think, our last time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't love your Christmas. It's because I know what I'm capable of handling.
You found your limit.
Oh my gosh, I find my limit.
Could you set some boundaries?
Yeah, for me. And, it's one of those things that you come to learn as you grow older and you get more experience and you get to know different families and how they operate. So this Christmas, something different happened. We're in Oregon, and so we traveled here. We're here for a couple weeks, and our daughter has really been missing family, and so we're just trying to capture as much time with family as possible in this short amount of time. And so we came over Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Came over Christmas Eve, and Christmas. I mean, God, you realize you guys do a Christmas for like 48 hours.
Yeah, we do.
But it's great.
Which is a lot of Christmas.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, Lucy hops out of the car. She's got so much happiness. Alicia's so happy to be home. I'm really happy to be here too. And we're talking with Lori, and out walks Jeff. And he walks right up to his grandkids, give them a great big hug. He walks right up to Alicia, gives her a great big hug. And then he just... I slept good. I'm not an emotional person.
Yeah, shut up.
Don't lie.
He looked right at me, and you looked at me. But you said 3 words that really meant a lot to me. And therapy. You said I love you, and then you gave me a great big hug. And you've said those things to me before, but this time it was more words than it was feeling. And we talked about this later at Costco, where you express things in bulk.
So you were at Costco.
But so we hugged, and then we came apart just slightly, and we looked at each other, and we're both grown men with tear wells in our eyes, and we're both crying. I've never seen Jeff cry. And I said, I love you too. And then we just hugged tighter. And we just stayed there for a while. Until I looked over at Alicia, and she's giving me this like... it's like what the hell are you doing? But I think and going into next year, I'm really going to hold on to that. Because yes, in Christmas, there's the gifts. And there's, the joy and the enthusiasm, the shopping, the wrapping, the little bows, the decorations. But really, it's just a unique way to say I love you. So yeah, that's my Christmas story.
Oh.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun memories. I wish we had at that time, because I remember waking up that morning and we were hysterically laughing because Matt's describing all the things that happen and we're all talking about the different things that happen. And man, that would have been a time to have recorded what actually it was like at that moment, right? Because I just remember it was just one thing after another that kept happening, and there's all of us smushed in.
It was a cartoon. Your family's a cartoon.
Room. Yeah,
you're a Looney Tunes family.
we are. But we've had
It
fun.
was I watched cartoon, and not the new cartoons. The new cartoons kind of suck. But the old Looney Tune cartoons, they just have this. It's like humorous torture. Yeah. It's funny now, and it was funny kind of then too. But if I wasn't in the room, we wouldn't be having these fits of laughter.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Was that the Marshmallow Christmas?
No.
Marshmallow War Christmas?
Oh, no.
No, that was before.
That was a fun Christmas too.
Yeah, that was I just picture Grandpa piling up the presents and getting behind him.
Yeah, not that one. No, this one was...
Oh, that's right. Pierce
20
and Jeremy knew each other, so it was...
We got
Would have
married...
been 2015.
2015? 2014? 2015?
Pierce and Jeremy were married in 2014.
Oh, 2014.
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
No.
2017.
So it could have been. I don't know. I don't know what year it was, but...
Oh, yeah. They weren't married until 20.
No.
There you go.
Matt, thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Thank you for always bringing laughter into our space.
You're welcome.
That's been something that I really appreciate.
I have to. I can't sit there and not think of a joke. Am I done? Am I done on this?
You're done.
I was just gonna make another comment. Is this the second time we've had somebody do a freeform story, or is it the third? Second time.
Yeah.
I think a freeform night would be
I
fun.
like it. Yeah, I
we
think
should
we
do
should.
that.
Well, at the same time, I think as spontaneous and wonderful of a storyteller as you are, I think putting that into words and giving that time would have given it even a different flavor. And
Oh, absolutely.
And
Be
it would
fun
also
for you
be
to
fun
write
to
it
capture
out.
that. Yeah.
I would like you to write that one out.
I don't think I'm a funny writer.
It's
When
not
I write-
that. It's more just.
I don't
Right.
know how to write comically.
Why
Yes, you
hold
do.
on to that?
Great question. Because I because I read it.
It's the voices. It's the voices.
It's the voice begging to be
I just
imitated.
burned
Just
No, it's more like this is how I like to express myself, and I think there is great power in being able to write that. But I don't like to present it like I've written it out,
Right.
Gotcha.
because I don't know. Your voice is a character, and there's nothing more insulting than a monotone voice, because your voice is an opportunity to give yourself a character and give it some light and brevity and maybe some depression and lift and follow. And when I think when you read it off a page, it could just be flat. Sometimes.
Yeah.
you can give it voice.
You can't.
It's hard.
I
It's
think
hard to do.
it would
Harder
be
than anything.
fun to challenge you to write that out, because there might be more memories that come to mind too.
Absolutely. And one of the things I do all the time is when I do think of a story, I try to find the ending right at the beginning. Because I can't tell a story without it having an ending, because then it just goes on and on and on and on, and then the waitresses are kicking you out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking. I didn't have an ending for that. Any other questions? I'm good. See you later. Good podcast. I'm gonna sit down and shut up.
Yeah, so she-
Don't sit down and shut up. Just sit down.
All right. This is called The Mountaintop. Drawn to the woods by wisdom's call, an unknown forest lay before, thick with growth and decay, and paths undistinguishable. Shattered pieces lay behind, sharp, cutting, stone-like, cold, and inflexible. A step into the wild unknown, met with a piercing gaze. The head turns 360 degrees. Wisdom's call opening my ear with a question. Do you want to hear? Further into shadow, footfall traverses, eyesight darkened. A speck of light flashes between trunks. Firelight, a torch. Torches like an ancient funeral. A clearing holds a diamond lake. A diamond holds a raft with a small figure lying on a bed of flowers. Head bowed, tears fall like dew pulled from the morning air by sun's first rays. An arrow aflame shot from the unknown woods. A cry from the depths rings through the mountain peaks. Heart-pierced death, sinking into Diamond's hope. Deeper, deeper. The shattering takes the present. Everything breaks. A mountain strewn with reflection, built with it. The ramming together of tectonic plates. Each vertical step offers a shard, a glimpse. Thousands, no, millions upon billions upon trillions. Like a night sky where only starlight shines. Eyes, so many eyes, all different from my own, but I can only see me. I cannot hide. The mountain clothed with broken glass, reflecting the Milky Way, only I can see me. There's only one. How? Light dances from lips to bounce off perfectly balanced shards of glass, bouncing with light higher, balanced beams of light, vibrating higher, upwards, like resurrection, the voice of the unknown, calling soul back to shape and form, light and sound, a star exploding, planting seeds of light in the Om pod, landing on the peak, broken, empty, whole. Understanding falls, a waterfall of sight washing blind eyes, true sight of the great beyond, the balancer, the teacher, the beholder, whispers to open the earless, I am. The source offers gold glue to piece together the glass man. Gravity's hands reach up, pull down, glass body bouncing on granite, pulled down into fog once more. Blood pours from chipped glass wounds, covering with flesh once more, fleshy, warm, finite. Once again, a window to the source. Silent flight, wisdom's call, pulls my eyes with a knowing, a burden across. Feet walk, footsteps in the forest, pointing to a diamond lake, shattering onto the mountaintop over and over again.
Your guys' writing is on a totally different concentration level than what I was prepared for. Because I swear you write like 2 or 3 really good sentences. I go, man, that's great writing. And then I just kind of fade off. Because I'm thinking like, what does a diamond lake look like? And I'm like, oh, he said glass and Milky Way. Like you guys are you use such unique descriptor words for an imaginary person like myself. I'm sorry I didn't catch a whole lot of it because you are painting a really beautiful image.
Yeah, I can tell you the process you're talking about. At least I have been there, and I'm getting better at listening and following along.
Yeah.
But in the beginning of this podcast, it was really hard.
Yeah.
I had to listen to the episode when it came out to catch everything.
I had no idea what you said, but I was in a lake filled with diamonds.
But that's true. When you listen back to the story, it's really fun to hear.
Yeah. So was that a real place for you, or was that just some like writing?
This writing was an attempt to take a very personal experience and abstract it out so that almost nobody understands what I experienced. I know exactly what that all means, but it's abstracted out.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. I really like the image of the forest of wisdom that you painted. It's full of death and decay, and it's also full of life, and it's just like you're looking at it and you're hearing the call of wisdom. You know there's something to be found in there, but you're unsure about it.
I also, sorry, Dan. I just saw your arms go up. It's all right. I'll let you speak first.
And correct me, Jeff, if this isn't part of what you're trying to draw this image of, but I felt like this body on this craft that was floating out in this lake, this diamond lake, and then the arrow that was shot from somewhere into that floating body maybe represented, I don't tell me if this idea of losing or putting away an old self and discovering a new self. I don't know. That's kind of the imagery that I felt I was getting from that.
It's a lot of imagery around death and letting go.
Letting go. Yeah.
It made me beautiful. Made me want to explore mountains in Norway and Scandinavia.
Find the diamond lakes.
Has some
Diamond lakes.
Ready to shatter on every mountaintop.
Viking imagery a little bit in that
Iceland,
story.
Greenland,
Yeah.
There could be Viking in our blood.
This not could be.
There is.
Your mom was literally
12%.
Scandinavian.
I know, and she was so funny because she was Scottish.
She
and
thought.
then she came back and it was Viking. I thought it was awesome.
She was Viking and
She was Viking, 12% Viking.
You didn't ever realize that?
I don't know what I am. I haven't done
She
it
could
yet.
have beheaded
I
anyone.
want you to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved this
I
creative
wanted to
writing.
say something about the eyes, but because I had to hold it, I don't remember what I was going
what?
to say. My thoughts.
On the eyes.
When you
On the
first
eyes, I
seeing
couldn't-
eyes in shards of glass.
Yeah, it was just something that really caught me with you were talking about. I was first thinking like you were animals were looking at you, but then I was wondering, like, just your thoughts of like what were you thinking when you were thinking all the eyes? Was it like past things, or it was just an interesting? I don't remember what I was gonna say, but it was like something that stuck in my head about that.
I was thinking, you said million, billion, trillion lights, stars, and that they became maybe eyes, and the only thing that you saw looking back at you was you. It was just you. Just that, it was, you are, it was you. Not the billion, trillion eyes that were looking at you.
You ever heard of the idea of the Bozeman's brain? You should look it up after this podcast. It's quite interesting. It kind of hedges on what you were writing about.
Cool. Okay, Mom.
No, Annalise.
Oh, Annalise, sorry.
I had to change my title last second. This is called Stay in the Journey. Alright. Family holiday parties. It's that time again. Anxious feelings always, as I remember when. It's not that each minute is planned with something or that the food is meant for birds and munching. It might be the expected $5 gift that some people ignore, giving their ego a lift. Maybe it is the forced hello and the small talk, because anything real and true would be a shock. Oh, the fight or flight response inside me at the thought, when expectations are not met and internal stories are bought. I want to feel comfortable in my own skin, even if my husband has a frown or grin. If only he would say hello, some would say. It would make them all feel better in a way. So many stories they want me to keep track. If I don't comfort with a smile, oh, the flack. Just the thought about a party with family, takes me from the now and away from reality. How do I stop this turmoil deep inside me? Can I really stop it and be around family? Maybe that is not the best approach. Maybe I allow the flow and emotion coach. All my life, I have kept things inside to benefit others. That worry of what others might think only smothers. Why do I find my worth from someone else's expressions? I need to step back and examine this question. I want to find my worth from within me. Now that sounds like an interesting journey. A journey worth pursuing in this new year. I may find an inner self I might revere. Maybe the anxiety and the fight or flight reaction will be quieter and cause a different interaction. So many possibilities for this coming year. Stay in the journey as I examine my fear.
I love that. That was good. That was like All the Places You Will Go by Dr. Seuss. I really like this.
Welcome to Annalise.
Easy to follow.
Yeah, you guys are.
I thought it was good. I thought it was very powerful.
You had a beginning line in there about food for the birds.
Yeah.
And it just made me think about how much emphasis as humans we put on food. And in reality, it's all just recycled. Even I'm going to be food for the birds at some point. It just made me think about this idea.
What bird?
Crows, probably.
Crows. Okay.
I thought you did a really good job of explaining your inner thoughts of how certain events or things have made you feel. Since when don't I talk loud enough? Anyways, I mean, at least to me, I could feel like just you did a really good job of explaining that thought pattern of why certain things why are they making me feel this way? You know, how do I make my journey different in this new year? I don't know. I just like the way you explain that and the pressure we put on ourselves with events or things.
Yeah, you expressed, I think, along the lines of what Mom was trying to say, but I'm going to paraphrase heavily, but some would like a hello or small talk because, like, the real is just too much to handle. I like the way you said it. Like, it put it very clearly how you think.
Something I really enjoyed was the part where you said, why do I need an expression from, or I don't know, something along the lines of, what did you say? I don't remember exactly. I really liked that part.
Why do I find my worth from someone else's expressions?
And I have oftentimes felt that same thing, like, why? Like, I should have self-worth without someone giving it to me. And I really, really love that way that you express that.
It makes me think a little bit about some things that have been on my mind and, you know, like whether you were talking your family, our family, events, whatever it was that you were thinking in your head. I was thinking about how we do have to get past our own things we're dealing with, right? Usually reflect on when we're somewhere, if someone doesn't talk to us or we think someone might feel some way about us, and it usually has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with people are busy or it's their own things they're dealing with. And I think we have to be okay within our own skin and be okay to be somewhere, and maybe we don't talk to people, maybe we do talk to people, maybe we just let it sit. You know, I mean, I've been really thinking a lot about this, that we shouldn't let other people affect us in a way that makes us have to change to be somewhere.
Yeah, like along.
Do you know what I mean by that? Does that make any
should
sense?
Yeah.
Our self-worth
thinking about
should
it.
come from within. Like,
But that's hard, right?
Well, and that was beautiful how you ended with your vision of going forward into this new year with finding worth from you versus being aware that you've been getting that maybe from others and you want to find a new, I think you even said the word adventure, didn't you? At the very end?
Journey.
Yeah. And I thought that was a beautiful way to end that writing.
And yeah, just the idea of like diving into yourself being the great journey.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been typecast into like the like at the holidays? Like I feel like I've been typecast myself where it's like I try to make people laugh. I'm a comedian. I do the same thing in my family too. Do you feel like you've kind of typecasted yourself so in your writing here it's like, I don't want to have these conversations anymore. I want to have different conversations.
real conversation.
Like, I don't want to always say joke, but I want to tell a joke.
So this last year, well, I don't know. in my past writings, I've kind of alluded to the thought that I am on a journey already, and I'm trying to figure out who I am, because I'm turning 40, and the past 38 years I haven't been able, or I haven't really figured that out. And so realizing that those feelings inside of me when I'm around certain people, or I need to really look at what those are and why they're coming up, so that I can know myself better and become the person I want to be.
There's no way you're turning 40. You look way too good.
She's hot.
So wait, when you do find what you want for yourself, will you tell us? So like we know.
So
That way
can
we
do
don't like just come up and do the same small talk stuff. Because I feel like I don't really talk to you guys that much, but when I do, it's often like, how's work? How's that? I purposely told Alicia when we came here, I'm not talking about work. I'm on vacation. If somebody talks to me about my job, we're changing the subject. I'm not talking about that. Because I'm so sick of that work being the most important thing about a male's life.
I think it's really
Or
important, though,
my life.
what you said. In my head, the concept of boundaries. People often think about it in the way that you put it. Will you tell me what your boundaries are, so that the responsibility is now on me to keep your boundaries? And I think that's unhelpful. Meaning, if I have a boundary, it is my responsibility, nobody else's, to respect that boundary. So, in another way of putting
So
that
you
is
confuse me.
I know, I
another
lost
way-
you with boundaries.
Another way of putting that is, if
Because I'm just
Annalie
at a
wants
party.
the small talk not to be,
Uh-huh.
then she looks you in the face and says, "Let's talk about X, Y, or Z."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She
She
takes
opens
the
it up.
responsibility.
Can I add?
Same with you.
Well, hang on, let me finish.
I think that's an important distinction.
Same with
Yeah,
you.
but that's good to understand what you were meaning, because
Yeah.
I was kind of lost in that, but that's fair. Sometimes we do need to talk about. Maybe
I
get
think-
deeper. In
I
that.
think another question to ask or add on to that is it for Annalie to tell you what she is, or is it for you to observe that?
But if you're only there for a minute,
I'm not observant.
Yes, you are.
But maybe
What do you
then-
mean you're a director?
No,
No.
you have to be observant. It's the only reason you're funny.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm only okay.
He-
Okay. Thank you.
Matt,
Did you hear that?
it's true. How many times did you say to me, I had to like see how the room was, like how everybody's their moods, and like
Yeah.
that's what you play off of.
Absolutely.
So you are paying attention to other people.
Yeah, but like,
I have something.
So I don't mean to turn this about me, but
that's okay. It becomes that.
ever since the pandemic, I've lost all interest in small talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Remember
I
what we talked
can't
about?
do it anymore.
Do you remember what I talked about too on the way here?
Shoot, dude. You're asking me to remember?
I said
Such
I
a
was,
trap question.
Yeah, it is.
I was so sick of people asking me the same things, and
Yeah.
it's always about my husband. And I was like,
Mm,
I really want people to ask me about my
to
life,
see you.
to see me. And so I wrote down a whole bunch of questions that I could help. So in the situation that if it is turned on my husband, that I could be the one to
Yeah.
create a conversation that was. And sometimes I get so quiet and that don't remember what I need to talk about. It's so annoying. And
Oh, that's
so
really cool, though.
what I was writing down on the way here is like questions that I could ask people too. So
That's
that
good.
my conversations are more real, and sometimes I have a hard time with conversations.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Like 9 times out of 10 when we're with your extended family, all the questions are asked for the male's perspective through.
And I've just
Alicia.
noticed that.
It's
And
very
I-
interesting.
I think it also touches on the culture we all grew up in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that patriarchy and priesthood, and somehow that's
More important.
more important.
And I want to be important. Like
Yeah.
I think all women and all people should be important.
You don't want to be just an appendage to.
No.
I
But
don't
I
want her
think
to
we
be.
forget-
Talk about pressure, right?
I want him to be happy, but I also want to be happy.
Quit hit my knee.
So that's something I've noticed this year.
Yeah. You got emotional through different segments. What was the emotion that you were feeling during some of those lines that you were reading? If you can remember.
I remember the part where I said about my husband. I kind of laughed, but
See, I don't
So why did you write that line?
what made
I was
me?
actually I was hoping you'd bring that up naturally, and I'm glad.
Truth is.
I want to dive into that. So why was that in your story?
Because that story is prevalent in, I think, our
This broken
family,
family.
and in my family. The part where
My facial expressions hold a lot of power.
yes, they do.
I don't even remember that line. It's not funny. I didn't hear it.
That is really funny.
I just like.
That was like
Mom just zoned out.
I went,
She
oh,
didn't
I
zone
won't
out. She
talk
said, "Let me take that thought."
But is that weird? I don't. Could you read that again?
and laughed. Just kidding.
Okay. Well, there's a little section about it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I want to feel comfortable in my own skin, even if my husband has a frown or a grin. If only he would say hello, some would say. It would make them all feel better in a way.
Yes, that's from me.
That's
How
from
do you know?
That's
Well,
all from
maybe
you.
someone else said it. Not that part. No, just the hello part. I've said that before.
Over.
You know-
Said hello.
Over.
Right.
And over again.
See? Yes.
You're not the only one. That
Oh,
said
I just thought maybe I was.
What do you mean?
I just think.
Yeah,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, we've had so many. It's a therapy
Hello,
session when we do
like
that.
that? What do you mean?
No.
Kind of. Yeah,
Maybe
kind of
that
like
would
that.
help.
Kind of
We
like
were
that.
talking about
Good
sick-
afternoon.
New, yeah.
Small talk.
Should
Small
we
talk.
all say it
It's
in a
all-
British accent?
No,
With some-
please drop the accent.
So,
What is joke in an Australian?
so the whole thing is,
Nope.
right? Everybody has had a story. This is something I've had to learn. I really kind of, I guess, in my life, I mean, no, I know my own story, but I always think I'm the one suffering and no one else is really, for some reason, suffering too. It's just me, right? I have my own story. And I've realized as I've learned to, really, I think I was stuck there.
No, it's
Great
a
to be aware
crazy
of.
thought. It's a crazy thought.
But as I've learned this year and I've talked to different times with my kids, their stories are all different too. And they don't coincide with someone else's. They're different.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a different story. And it started making me go, wait a minute. Every person is looking at maybe a situation, but different. And I'm thinking, we're kind of all a family, so it should be more cohesive, but it's not. And
But why put that structure there? Why
No,
put
but
that
in my
structure?
brain-
I know.
in my brain, raising my family, us raising our family, if we did as much love as we could, I'm going to raise this family that's
Expectations.
beautiful, right?
It is beautiful.
Well, it is.
Thank you for saying that. I've been worried for a long time.
Even you, Matt.
That's really nice to hear from you.
Wait, why are you indicating that? Just because we have hard things
yeah.
This is
that it's not
just,
beautiful.
It's no, and
That's a good question.
this is
I-
the thing I've started to realize. This is the thing. Seriously, I've started to realize this, that in the brokenness, I think our family can be more beautiful. I think that if we can come together, even the little itsy bitsy broken pieces that are stabbing certain people that can't seem to pull it out, right? That are so hurt, whatever it is that people are dealing with. If we can just one by one take out a piece, take a look at ourselves and figure out how do we just sit here and be okay if it's not okay.
And we're all evolving and
Yes.
changing.
And I think if we can make it through the brokenness, we will be amazing.
we have to
can
look
I offer
at
something?
Mom,
What?
You can go first.
can I just say something?
Yep.
Sure, I simplify.
You have to look
Beautiful.
at how you looked at our family then or how we were and see how it's changing and see the beautifulness.
Right.
Because it's only going to continue to evolve with how we are all changing.
Right.
We're
And
all
I
different.
hope that in the brokenness, at times we can just sit in a room and be okay.
When you're saying that, it sounds like to me that you think right now this isn't a family.
No, I mean, I would, sure, my ideal is having everyone be able to sit and have these conversations. Absolutely.
We
But
need
that's
more
not-
microphones.
But
But
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but one day I hope we can, right? But it's a blessing to get to have what we have now. Well, it's fun to have you guys here.
It's great to be here.
it's good to be here.
Right.
I like.
Move it.
I want to hear it from you though. Why did you write that section?
Well, okay, so it started out with all the stuff that's going on outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And and what that caused inside. And I realized that none of that's really going to change, or nor does it need to change. It's what I have inside that I want to change, because I want to be in a room. I don't want to have expectations of you knowing what I need.
Ah, okay.
Right.
I need to be okay with me, and whatever happens, happens. And I just want to be. I want to be able to have that conversation of, if it were to come up, that is more meaningful. I want to, I don't want to have expectations, and that kind of goes along with the poem that I read a few weeks ago. We had a Thankful podcast, and we wrote something that really touched us, and so it kind of goes on that of just going into things without having those expectations, and I think that really puts less pressure on everybody else and less pressure on me, but also allows me to grow in a way that I want to.
Cool.
And I guess that's in the brokenness, right? That people have to actually look at themselves to heal, even if they feel other people have hurt them, because this is something I had to learn, and I'm still learning it. But once you can be okay with you to be here or sit, then it really doesn't matter what anyone else does, right? Because Annalie, that's what she's saying, then she can be here and be okay, even if it's hard, or she won't put expectations on anything, right? Am I saying that halfway right?
Good way to end it. You ready to read?
Oh, yeah. I have
Oh, I
to.
had like 30 more questions.
Well, we can,
You'll have to come back, man.
Just joking.
or you can talk after.
No.
No.
Once the podcast is done, I'm done. You can cut that.
I'm not cutting anything.
Totally cut that.
I'm gonna actually just emphasize your words.
It'll be a YouTube short. Maybe
It'll
zoom
be-
in to
Anyways.
the old Hoffman moments.
Made me think.
I'm gonna have just clips of just you speaking, only you, out of context.
The Matt Warren cut?
Yes.
Damn.
I just told Annalie I really liked what she said, because it made me think even a little more deeper about removing it from everyone else and just sitting on it and not trying to be a fixer,
A middleman.
a middleman. Anyways, okay. So I didn't know what we were gonna write what I was gonna write, because we just had some things come up that my brain was sort of focused somewhere else, and so I don't know. I just threw out some thoughts, not perfect thoughts, but Matt, you made my story make a little sense now with your story. So, but then just some thoughts that I was thinking about. A new year, what can I say? But out with the old, in with the new. 2025, I can't believe, but it's almost here. Stockings were hung, cookies and carrots were set out for Santa and reindeer. The kids set up the bed. What room should we sleep in? Let's do the family room this year. Everyone climbs into bed to watch the Christmas movie. The parents getting ready for the arrival of Santa, hurrying around to get things done so they can join the family snug in their beds. So the real magic can begin. The morning arrives. What did Santa bring? Presents are opened, games are played, food is enjoyed. Now it's time to ring in the new year. Goals to start. Goals never started. Changes to be made. It might be a big hill to climb. Please don't quit, even if you start rolling down the hill. Brace yourself, stopping to look around. If you fall, get back up and try again. Take one foot and put it in front of the other. If you stumble, allow yourself to rest. Don't let those voices in your head defeat you or even trick you. Remind yourself you're okay. Walt Disney once said, "You will fail. It is important that you fail. Sometimes. But every time you fail, instead of wallowing on the ground in self-pity, get back up, keep moving forward." It's okay to let things be. Or not be okay. Well, sorry, let me read that again. It's okay to let things be okay or not be okay. Rise again, keep going, let yourself breathe. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy the ride. Remember to laugh. Don't worry. Worry only puts you in a cycle of more worry. You can't change other people. You can only change you. Remember to stand in the sun. Walk barefoot in the grass. Try something new. Take long walks. Try and see throughout the crap. Try and see through the crap to who people really are. Love, make love, and remember in all of this to love yourself.
That last little bit you had to remember to stand in the sun and remember to walk in the grass. I really love that. It's very, very, very pretty. I love when somebody or writers ask the audience or the people consuming their writing to think about something, to remember to do something. I really like when they do that. I like the way that you did that.
Thank you.
Why was it emotional for you?
I'm not sure. Probably. What did I start to get?
When you said
The grass.
stand in the sun.
You walk in the grass.
Yeah, because I think we get stuck in all the crap or all the emotions or worrying about what everyone else thinks, right? We don't take
Do
time.
you mean we or do you mean
Me. Okay, I'll say me. But I think people in general will do that. We do that in life, but I'll say me. And remembering to just be. It's okay. Like, it's okay. If I want to go stand in the sun, stand in the grass.
Is it okay if someone thinks you're ridiculous for doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I think remembering to breathe and to look through the crap sometimes of people and still be okay loving them. You may not like them at that moment, but you can still, sometimes you just got to wade through it to see on the other side of things.
Was this something that you are kind of looking at yourself as doing more of next year coming up?
Sure, I hope so. I don't know. These just literally came out. I was so exhausted after coming back from the hospital yesterday and being just so tired at night. And this came out in about 20 minutes. And then this morning I literally just finished the last, 15 minutes. So it's just a bunch of stuff in my head that I just came out.
I really liked all of it. I really liked the quote too from Walt Disney. Because it's like a lot of times we're just afraid to fail. We're afraid to try things and work on things and be messy and be in the moment where it's not easy.
Right.
And it's not easy to talk about things. And we have to be willing to work through some really messy things sometimes to get to the other side, like you were saying, to get to the good stuff. But
Right.
sometimes you have to work through that crap.
Well, I think since we've started this podcast, at least for me, I think we've had to talk about some things that have been harder, and I think I'm trying to be better at hearing someone saying something to me. I don't always get it. I don't always understand what Jeff is trying to tell me, and I have to literally say to him, I don't know what he means, or I've said dumb things and had to go back around and kind of try to work on what we're actually trying to say to each other. And Dad and I have had to really grow a lot in trying to hear each other, I think, and to listen more to our other kids for what they're going through. Is it a simple journey or a still complete journey? No. But I hope we continue. I hope I continue to get better at that.
Well, I think what you wrote there is often very, it's used very commonly in cinema, where a character has gone through grief, gone through, his journey, their journey, her journey. And often the director or the DOP will pick light. And you wrote it literally like the hero journey in your story is the turning point at the end was you standing in the sun in the grass. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many of you have seen that shot in a movie, right? What you're writing there is the turn, basically, when you're stopping, letting other things kind of hold you, and you're just gonna move forward and go. And yeah, that stuff will still exist.
Right. It doesn't go away.
Right. But you're no longer like you're getting through it.
Right.
Journey's not done.
Right.
We still have 35 minutes of the movie and credits, and then we've got to talk about it in the parking lot. But
but at least you're standing in the sun with them.
But it's like the character,
Yeah,
your character is noticing the turn.
Yeah.
Accepting the turn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in life, it's been a bit of an epiphany of realizing that I hang on to so much that I can't.
And what are those? What is that so much at the end of the day? Just words.
Yeah.
We just choose to hold on to words.
Well, sure, because I tried to protect every one of my children, even my in-laws, my kids that I claim I somehow had to.
It's a strange thought.
It is, but I just want them to feel so much a part of my family that I never felt, ever. Anyway.
Let it out. Let it flow. There it is. Let it flow.
Golly.
This is a quote. I don't know who from, but it's like, if you can fill your day with laughter, with love, with crying, with all these emotions, if you can do that every day, then you're.
It's a good day.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
It's the coach.
Yeah.
Survive in Advance. 30 for 30.
My point is, like, mom wrote 2 sentences, and it brought all of this.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do is write 2 sentences to experience all of this. But it's one. Yeah. I don't know. I like that.
I know what my topic would be now.
Good.
Yeah.
Go do it.
I love it.
I'm not an improv.
Oh.
But maybe next time you'll read. Hope so.
What would it be? Let's leave a cliff.
Maybe we'll do a podcast in Oregon.
You're all welcome.
Yeah.
That'd be
All
cool.
very welcome.
I think we're gonna
We'll go do it by the river.
In the
Oh,
shadow of Mount.
Doom.
Good.
Yep. We'll drop the
Doom.
one ring.
Who's gonna be Gollum? Who's losing a finger?
I mean, well, yeah. Sam would be a good guy. Pierce has got
I think Pierce is a better golf.
Pierce, yeah, Pierce would
Sam's
be
a
a
good Sam.
Pierce would be a good Frodo. He's small.
Gamgee. Sam would be a good Samwise Gamgee.
Oh yeah.
You're Gimli for sure with that mustache. How does he end?
Walt's got Dad.
He's got
Oh,
that.
okay, sorry.
Sorry, you got one more, and I
And
You
then-
already did.
All right. So I've got to add to what you just shared. At the very end, that was really beautiful. Last night, when we were sitting here and we were thinking and writing and talking, and you fell asleep. Before you fell asleep, I looked over at you on the couch and I thought, she's so beautiful. And I thought that for every moment of my life with you. But you were even more beautiful in that you were expressing something on paper from your mind that was just you. You weren't scrolling through your phone. You weren't looking at messages. You were expressing something that came uniquely from you. And I just was overwhelmed in that moment with how beautiful you are. All right.
Oh, Alicia, go ahead.
Go ahead, sweetie.
Yeah, just say it. Just say it. Mom is beautiful on the outside, but she emulates true beauty, which is love. And that's what I've always admired about you.
Oh, thank you, Annie.
You're a very, very kind, loving soul that I hope to be more like you.
Thank you.
All right. This this comes from a place of thinking about being in this moment of time and moving forward into next year. Steve. Why Steve? What does Steve have to do with the eve before Christmas Eve? I don't know. I mused. My Adam's apple whirled as my mind bobbed up and down, around and around. Sterile white blinds my unopening eyes as this eve of many rings invitingly, bringing bells of sorrow, compassionate chimes, ding, dong, ding, dong. Love reaches out, searching, listening, touching. Raspy gurgling painfully rattles from the man in front of me. A single tear, a tear wrought with fear, understandably runs down his cheek, wetting a terrible, fresh incision. Thump, 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 forces my unseeing eyes away from him to rest on the woman now in front of me. She smiles weakly. My heart hurts as a single tear of longing and acceptance understandably flows down her cheek to rest above a pounding, erratic, racing, blood-filled, life-sustaining organ. The gigantic tear permeates her skin, joining her cells, moistening her ribs, to a lovingly blanket her wounded heart. I smile back. Hi, Jeff. My mind turns towards the familiar voice. The man now in front of me stands motionless. The hospital room's sterile whiteness blinds my eye, blinds my mind. Dad, what are you doing here? Hi, Jeff. He answers, a blank look behind his sunken eyes. Resigned, I whisper, Dad, I love you, as a single tear falls. Get it out! Get it out! A woman's voice screams out in pain from an unseen hospital room. Somewhere out there on the edges of my mind, in my yet to experience existence, continues a man's voice, firmly gaining confidence in his knowing, hopeful, miraculous echoes of excitement course through the hearing of my awareness. Here it comes. Here it comes. And my eyes spring open. The new year lays expectantly vacant before me upon the naked openness of my expanding heart. I peer into the emptiness of 2025 as tiny glimpses of helpful awareness softly prick my senses. Broken bits and passionate pieces of this year flutter playfully around the tenderness of my gradually expanding mind. My heart beats steadily. The earth beneath my footsteps grounds me as I realize heart and earth are spelled with the same letters. My senses breathe deeply. My gravity exhales. My awareness shifts. My mind coils. Hate no one, hate no thing, hate no entity. Because no matter how much it has wronged me, bitterness will breed contempt. Contempt encourages hatred, and hatred ultimately decays the spirit. Yes, I reflect humbly, grateful to be going into this new year a rich man. My family is priceless. My health is a treasure. My time is invaluable. Stepping forward into this coming year, searching, discovering, creating. I realize deeply that the present moment is all I will ever have. Forever is composed of nows. I will not remember days. I will only remember moments. My eternity will be found in each and every moment. Be present, my inner self exclaims with joy. Joyce Meyer's words poke me sharply, reminding me quickly that being native only makes a difficult journey more difficult. You may be given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. As I gaze forward into the coming year, I will look forward towards moments that bring laughter to my soul, love to my heart, and a smile in my eyes, as every moment will warm me with a cherished glow. Welcome, 2025. Here it comes. Here I come.
I love the part. Read the one part about your expanding heart. The part about gosh.
Earth and heart being spelled the same.
Well, I love that part. That was cool because I didn't know that. But something
really
about
cool.
your it was when you started the new year.
The new year lays expectantly vacant before me upon the naked openness of my expanding heart.
I think it was more, but I like the fact how you were just saying, I mean, to me, here I am, whatever's going to happen, I'm ready for this year. I like that. Like the something I haven't been in my life was just curious. And I like that. Opens up to curiosity. Okay, what's ahead?
I didn't get the first part of that. Were all of those your words, or did you take some of those?
Just the cactus part.
Just the cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of lost.
So when
it.
you talked about bitterness and hate, that was you. You're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Bitterness. Yeah, it was actually absolutely.
I think it's really. I don't think enough people understand the choice there that hate literally does eat us from the inside out, and we are left with a sort of screaming black hole of hell when someone embraces and holds on to hate, and that is the outcome you will have if you hold on to hate. I thought it was written really well. All of it, that part struck me.
I was hoping that in my future, going forward, that I would continue to recognize how hate can destroy or decay our essence if we hold on to it. And it's in the way I wrote that, it's a gradual decline. And sometimes I don't think we realize it. That hate or that angst that we have inside us for something or for someone or for an entity, that it can drag us gradually down.
Yeah, I think it's often why, like in movies, we'll hear the story of the villain, and sometimes we'll empathize, but it's because what they're feeling is true, and they probably are justified in their actions. Right. But that holding on to hate pulls them into a place that they didn't even know they could go.
Right.
And
I have a question. I wonder what everyone thinks about it. Can somebody hate something real? Can somebody love something real?
what do you mean?
Or
I think
can you only hate or love an idea, a story?
That's a very interesting idea.
Yeah, I think actually that's very interesting because I've shared before in this group, like to Matt and Alicia, I haven't necessarily said this, but there was a time in my life where I thought I was justified in all of the anger that I was carrying towards some people. And I finally had to realize that the only person I was hurting was me. And I needed to step through that, right? Now, I didn't do it perfect. I still struggle with that. But I really had a deep anger or justification that I had every right to carry all that hatred I carried.
You did.
You know?
Yeah.
But
That's Peyton's point. You did.
right. But when you keep carrying it,
Right.
and you then make the story for people to hear, you need to tell what's happened. You're justified, right? That's when it becomes really hurtful to you because it just buries in deeper and deeper to me. And then you're just hurt. It's just the rocks piled in there.
Another way of saying it is your hands are full.
Yeah, you can't.
So there's no room for anything new.
Right,
If
because
my hands are empty, anything can come and anything can go.
right.
The second I hold on to something and I close my grip, it's closed. It's a closed system.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
And I did that forever. And until I started letting go of things, it was hard. And I still, at times, carry that. It hasn't totally 100% totally gone, but it's so much better. And I'm just saying that's something I've learned, and that's something that I'm grateful in all of this, is being able to take a look at myself and go, gosh, yeah, maybe I could have been angry, and I could have been angry for a while, but man, when you start carrying it and now you're blaming everything else on everyone else and somehow that story's turned, that's when we have to look.
To answer your question, I would like my hate to be like a snare drum, which sounds like this. It's a quick attack and a quick release.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like a cymbal, which is a because it will just ripple.
It's an interesting idea.
So same thing with my joy. Like I don't want my joy to be a cymbal.
That is wisdom, my friend.
I want to be a quick, and I want to come back.
That's wisdom.
So like, yeah, I do think the hate is totally real, totally normal. There's certain things I hate, but I want it to be not a and ripple into other aspects of my life.
thinking of that as like a choice. If you get to choose if it's a ripple,
Which drum you beat?
which drum you beat, because you can take
That should be
hate
the new saying.
and you can make it quick
make
in
it
the
really
spike in sound and wave in
That should be
frequency,
sweatshirt.
or you can take love and make it a ripple that never ends. You can just take that and keep
Going with it.
going with that beat.
You had a proclamation in your words, and it was a very shocking proclamation because I feel like it's a change of tune, drastic from where you've been. You said, "I will not remember my days. I will only remember my moments."
Each and every moment.
Yeah, that's very different. And I was just great proclamation.
Well, there was another sort of proclamation that struck me. And to Peyton's point, this writing seemed different than your other writings. It seemed to have a different vibration. At the end of it was also, it seemed like a proclamation, at least how I heard it in terms of like, I don't remember exactly, but 2025 and here I come. It's like I'm stepping into the new year very different than I'm finally stepping in.
Not the year throwing at him. He's stepping through that year, saying, "Okay."
Sort of.
It kind of,
But it's like, it was like a proclamation of like, here I am. I'm finally here. I finally see myself, and I'm stepping into it.
it kind of painted this picture a little bit in my head, at least, of somebody walking on a timeline and like trying to get to the point, and this is the present, and you're walking on a timeline to the present, and then you kind of described it as 2025, or the moment is where we are, and you kind of like finally hit that, and you're like, whoa, I'm at this point now. It's just there's no more to go. I've hit the point, and now it can come to you.
Yeah. I think that realization is really abrupt like that. Like you hit boom and you're like, oh, I've never looked at everything this way. I've never experienced life this way.
Yeah.
And it's really fast and abrupt, and once it happens, it's hard to go back.
It's hard to
No.
unsee it.
You can't.
I think for Dad and I, this especially, I felt like on a couple different times this time, but Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, for me, I felt like I saw beauty differently. Like I was seeing just the snippets of just so much sweetness in different parts. Like just the 3 kids that were sitting there listening to Dad. Little Lucy singing and Ellie saying, "I will dance." But it was like, so I want to be like that. I'll just dance in front of all of you.
Yeah.
It's a freedom in that, right? And it was so pure and sweet, right? There was no, she was so happy twirling and doing and watching everyone's face, and I thought, that's like, I want that. But I felt like I could be in that moment so differently. I wasn't like,
Well, I think to Dad's point, like the more you carry, the higher that stack gets. Suddenly I can only see the stack that I'm carrying. I can't see anything else.
right.
So I miss moments of sweetness and freedom that are everywhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm often blind to them because I've...
Right. And that's what I feel like we got to enjoy a little bit more, even with Christmas, just certain conversations or just sitting there and just a minute of during that game with the candy. You and Annalie made that really fun. And it was fun to see everybody laugh.
I would say it was a glimpse of what you wanted.
Of my moment of what my family I thought used to be, but what I would like our family to become is just for
But
a
you
moment.
viewed it happen. You viewed it happening.
Yes, and
So
I
it
sat,
already is.
and I said yes. For that moment, I thought,
All we have are moments.
Right.
That moment.
but
Just that
I
moment.
don't think I ever sat.
It's so fucking...
Right.
It's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
But
You want to take us home after this?
Yeah.
but for so many times, I think I've missed those moments.
Yeah.
Because we're worried.
That's
Oh my
how-
Yeah,
gosh, I have to get
exactly.
out. I have to do this. Wait, I have to do this. I felt like I really sat in so many
I
moments.
think you and I
Yeah.
I know I did, and you just expressed this, that night and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and all day in the hospital room with Todd, and
Oh yeah.
all day in the hospital room with Maddie, and the moments that I spent with my dad recently, I am looking at all of these moments as just being in that moment.
It's so.
And that's it.
It's so true because
Nothing else.
I think when we sat with Todd, it was like 7 hours, and both of us just, I was really worried at first. His breathing was quite harsh, and I would jump up and try to figure out if there's something I could help with. But it was just a nice
Just
day
being there.
of being there.
being there.
And then when we arrived to Maddie's and surprised them at the hospital room, the next day, I mean, it was just being there, right? There was nothing else but just sitting.
No
and
expectations.
and we played a game and we just talked, and it was, it's weird.
But
I feel
to
like
Matt's point, and the way that I see being present is, it does open you up to all this beauty. It also opens you up to immense pain. But no matter if the moment is the darkest and lowest or the highest and brightest, the truth about existence is every moment is born and it dies.
right.
Every moment. It doesn't matter how beautiful, it doesn't matter how ugly. Every moment has death.
Right.
It's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the opportunity to step into a new moment.
I guess that's what both of us have noticed, is that I am looking at it more as moments other than just like, oh, we went and did this, but like I can see the moments more clear. Right? Yeah, it was scary with Todd. I actually we both thought, this is scary. Like
But that's exactly how it should be.
right.
Yeah.
Someone on the brink of losing their life.
Right.
That's exactly.
Right.
That's the cleanest version of that moment.
Right. And then with Maddie, we didn't know what was going on, but there was laughter, and we played a game, and we just sat. And that was okay. Like there was nothing wrong with that. And it's just, I'm grateful for the new moments I've gotten to experience. If that makes any sense at all. So thank you for writing all of that and kind of bringing that out.
Well, thank you for spending this little bit of time with us, this moment in time with us. And Peyton, do we have any business? Next week is the first Sunday of the month.
Oh, do we pick our theme?
It is the first Sunday.
We got to pick it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Poppy, for you, I'm thinking instead of writing, you just do interpretive dance.
like Ellie.
Like
Yeah,
Ellie.
Ellie
Just get
will
up
give you
there
lessons.
and dance.
If I could be so free. Oh my goodness. That was beautiful. I just thought Lucy singing and her dancing is a memory I will hold till the day I am no longer on this earth. Hopefully I get to hold it after. That would be awesome. Those
Be
are
something.
fabulous memories. Maybe I just get to watch them twirl.
And I would even encourage you not to hold it.
Oh, to let it die. Huh?
Yep.
I know I like to have memories.
There it is. There's the old mom.
I mean, memories are important. They're what
Why
you
do you
have.
think
That's all you
memories
can
are
hold on to
important?
is a memory.
Is it?
You two cannot be on opposite sides of the couch.
Why?
You're not being recorded. I can't keep doing this and that.
Yeah.
Get on the same couch.
Remember when we first started
Jeez.
and I was like this?
Holy cow. You two are driving me bonkers.
Man, this was an exact reflection of how I was 7 months ago.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're in a peaceful spot.
Matt's like,
Balance.
don't. Matt's like, do not come to our home in Oregon. Do not
No,
come
you're
to
welcome.
another
Seriously.
podcast.
Come anytime you want. We love having you there.
Yeah,
We
man.
love showing you our little pocket of the world.
It's pretty pretty.
We'll get some fruit.
It was pretty.
If we come do a podcast in Oregon,
Yeah.
will you host it?
Yeah, I can host. Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
Will you host it and
I can
do whatever you want with the creative vision?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
be so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There might be some interpretive dancing.
I
would hope so.
We're just gonna call it Matt's episode.
There we go. We'll
Um,
go do it up in the woods.
okay, Alicia, pick a number between 1 and 100.
What are you going to go for?
25.
I knew it.
5.
Now
The
pick,
burdens of life.
now pick a number between 101 and 200.
How many topics did you pick?
300.
Wait, what was it? Shoot.
Just 100 to 200.
Oh, Yeah, 157.
157. High school.
That, I mean, burdens of life into high school. That's great.
300.
300.
Ooh. Tail end.
The pampered perfect princess.
Sorry, guys.
Maybe you sound like
Okay. Now pick a number between 1, 2, and 3.
Oh my gosh. Who wrote that one?
The pampered perfect princess.
Right.
That's our story topic for next week.
You get to write about yourself.
I know. I'm so excited.
She's got to do the interpretive dance now.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we hope that your new year will be eventful. And give us a 5-star review, and you will look to find the moment in each and every moment.
Perfect.
You did my thing.